Parenting by screen. Well, it's a parenting trend that's raising red flags. A new study from Kerala reveals that nearly 70% of parents use mobile phones to feed their children, and that almost 9 among 10 toddlers are exposed to screens every day, despite pediatric warnings. Experts say that this is not about a distraction at mealtime, but a host of developmental issues that may occur. Poor eating habits also that could develop, and emotional disconnect. These are real red flags that doctors say they've seen over the years and advise parents strictly not to show screens to children below 2 years of age. But it seems like it's almost become a habit, especially in Kerala, 70% of women showing screens to their children while feeding them. The study conducted by pediatric researchers in Kerala paints quite a worrying picture of digital age parenting. Many parents admit using screens as a quick fix to make their children eat, stay calm or sleep, often unaware of the long-term consequences. Doctors warn that excessive screen time at an early age can impair speech, delay social skills, and even affect brain development. According to global pediatric guidelines, children below 2 years of age should have zero screen time, zero exposure to TV, mobile phones, any kind of screen. In fact, after 2 years of age, it should be limited and highly supervised until they're maybe in their teens. But in modern homes, the phone is fast replacing the storybook. That's what we see. Hardly any storybooks. You have mobile phones doing the job, and meals all being fed while they're watching something, barely paying any focus to what they're eating, enjoying their meal. We wonder if that's happening too. Kids don't even speak about their likes or dislikes at that age. So what exactly are parents pushing their children into? Experts say it's time that parents now look up, quite literally. This is a crisis, is what the doctors say. How do you wean off parents from ensuring that they don't show, wean off mobile phones and TVs from children, ensuring that they are fed without screens? Our guests and experts joining us for a little more clarity. Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, Chairperson, Nephron Clinic. We also have Dr. Vandana, clinical psychologist, WeCope. Thanks both of you for joining us. Dr. Vandana, if I could start with you as a psychologist, what do you say on children watching screen time, getting screen time at that age? What really happens? Psychologically, we believe that they become disconnected, they don't develop good speech at that age. Give us the severity of it.
Yeah, definitely. See, I would like to place on records that it is not only children. When the mother is pregnant itself, that she should be away from the mobile phone. That's the first thing that she needs to follow. Second thing is definitely 0 to 2 years, no screen should be allowed, because it leads to a lot of cognitive delay in the development, in terms of speech development, in terms of not only replacing a storybook, but replacing a human touch and human emotion altogether. So the child's cognitive development overall gets affected, and there's a delay in the development. Third, there is a lot of passive way of communication that develops because the active socialization is not involved. And then that leads to a lot of difficulty at the school level itself, because the child really cannot cope up with people when they are not introduced that socialization at home. So this is one aspect that is affecting. And second thing is, there's already very less people around, and you are replacing that with a mobile phone, leads to a lot of other impulsivity related issues in the children.
Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, how much is too much? Even little screen time is bad? And what are the first signs of harm you see that we should spot? Sir, you need to unmute yourself, please.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So I think this is a fallout of wrong parenting of this modern age. To have 89% of kids in one study in one state in India under the age of 2 using a cell phone or a smartphone or screen time, 69% of children being subjected to this screen time while being fed, Now, what does this actually do? There is a delayed or loss of cognitive development. There is a delay in speech. These kind of children later on develop with a significant amount of handwriting disability. They have memory and attention span disorders. They are unable to deal with social behavior and social skills. And these developmental delays can also cause attention deficit, anxiety, antisocial behavior, and even give postural and early in life spinal problems, because most of these children are lying in abnormal positions in bed or in a couch, being fed or watching the screen time. Sleep disturbances, obesity, restlessness, bright lights can affect an immature developing brain. Loud sounds can affect the brain, and both the eyes and the hearing can be involved. But apart from this, these kids grow up suboptimally. And when I say suboptimally, there is something which we call as a brain hormonal cytokine axis. All these stimulants to a young, developing, and immature brain is a stress stimulus which releases hormones such as cortisol. Why is screen time so addictive across all age groups? Because it stimulates four reward hormones, which are dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, and oxytocin. That's why when this release happens, the brain wants more of the screen time. Therefore, the addiction. Even 30 minutes of screen time every day, even 5 hours, 5 times in a week, causes cognitive defects up to 69%. These are published international data. There was the largest study done in Stanford recently, in which 35,000 students were made to keep away from the screen time for 6 months, and they have established a 22% enhancement of cognitive development. So very clearly, under the age of 2, this is the big no-no. Between 2 and 5, very, very limited under supervision. Be careful. Your child is not an adult and is unable to cope with so many stresses which you're subjecting to because of parental convenience.
You know, Dr. Vandana, we have a school in Bangalore, and I know of one child who's addicted to his phone, and he's roughly around the age of 10, 12. And if you pull the phone away from him, he turns violent, and the parents are so worried. They're worried that they could, for all you know, you don't know what tendencies he could develop if you keep the phone away for too long. So they eventually succumb and give the phone back. And I'm sure this has been going on for years, which is why he's so obsessed that he can't do without it. What's the word of advice would you give to parents who are looking at their children now so addicted? What can they do really?
See, definitely, as I said, it leads to a lot of behavioral issues. As I said, first it leads to cognitive delay, then it leads to a lot of behavioral problems, attention deficit and learning related disorders. And finally, it leads to addiction, where, it happens because the child really don't know how to communicate, and then they just glued to one aspect of called screen time, and that is their virtual world. Now, if you pull it out, then that's when there's a lot of adamancy, and as sir mentioned, it may even lead to a lot of antisocial behavior. So first place, parents should not introduce itself at the first place. Then they have to replace it with some other alternative habits. Maybe see, we are in an era where we cannot be without phone. But at the same time, it is not like that you need to be completely with it all the time. Instead of introducing with alternative aspects, which parents should really understand, because the implications of it.
It's quite, it's expensive. You can't, it's not at the cost of
really
the
high,
child's
and then
life.
later doing it and repairing it becomes very, very difficult.
So early on, the better. A final word, Mr. Bagai, best way to wean off children from mobile phones.
This is a very famous song, a rock song during our era. I may be slightly older to both of you all. It's called, it goes as, we are prisoners of our own device. And it was sung by who? The real bottom line is that we need more time with the children, not screen time. Children should read books, not be on Facebook. Children need to be outdoor playing rather than spending time on the screen. Children need to interact with other children, other human beings, see the real world rather than living in a virtual and fantasy world.
All right. Thank you, both of you, for joining us. I really appreciate your time and expertise. Thank you.
Thank you.